Hello everyone, my name is Steve5 and welcome to the very first episode of Create Above and Beyond. This is a mod pack I was suggested to play by a user on one of my Twitch streams, so that's what I've decided to do. However, I have to be honest, this is my second time recording the first video. The last time I tried to record episode 1, I spawned on a desert island, and I thought it would be a good challenge, a good idea for a video to basically confine myself there and not let myself leave. The Create Above and Beyond mod pack is an expert mod pack, which means it requires an extra layer of grinding. So confine myself to a desert island turned out to be a little more of a challenge than I was up for. You know what they say is the best thing to do is learn from your mistakes. So we're trying episode 1 again for the second time. This seed is looking a little cracked, by the way. What the? This is the seed. If you're interested, I will put all the information in the description if you'd like to play along with me, what version of the mod pack I'm on, obviously the seed, so you don't have to type it from the screen. But yeah, let's get started. So, not to say that I didn't learn anything from my last world, there's a few things I will do in this video that I should have, or I learned from my mistakes in the last one. The first mistake of spawning on a desert island is there's no structures. There was no structures on it at all, there was no loot to be had. This mod pack, the first thing you should be doing is looking for loot. I will be absolutely honest. Breaking these little pots can have lots of good stuff inside of them, like money, and this one just had a pot. But they can drop stuff like this, little bits of money, and you can actually spend the money on stuff. So you can actually have a job, and you can spend the money on goods. So you can go over here, or you can go to shipments, and you can pay money for diamonds, redstone, whatever you'd like. Finding structures is extremely important for this mod pack. That's my first tip. If you decide to play this, you should definitely not do what I do and really go exploring. Find loot, because it just gives you a huge boost. Speaking of loot, we got some absolute monster loot in this village. I'm not gonna lie. Look at that. Almost half a set of iron armor already. And we got these loot chests. Instead of normal chests, they are symbolized, that's probably not a real word, as an actual loot chest. These birds are a little loud, I will be honest. Looks like we got an iron pick already. Another iron chest plate, which I won't take. I will take the gold, and I have no idea what that is, so I'm not gonna take that. Okay, we got boots and a sword. Okay, so we're just going to get a full set of iron, I think. Got these sweet berry bushes too, which while I'm picking these reminds me of another thing I learned from trying my previous world. Oh my god, you're aggressive. It's the middle of daytime. Wasn't suspecting me to have an iron sword already. But there's a lot of grinding in this mod pack. So if that's not for you, that's fine. But I like grinding. It just doesn't make fantastic YouTube content. As you can imagine, me chopping down hundreds of trees or mining for hours and hours might be something that's a good idea for a live stream. Make sure to check out my live stream link in the description. That's probably what I'll be doing, that kind of stuff. I seriously doubt I'm going to block off a 10-minute chunk in a video and just go mining. Got a nice bed here. I'll snag that. We got some more food, what is a rubber duck? That's not a duck. That's a man going That's not a duck noise. That's kind of funny though. So as I've said on my channel, I actually have a decent experience with expert packs. The beginning of my YouTube channel was me playing mod packs and reviewing them. However, I'm pretty new to this, I guess, let's play style of content. So forgive me if my editing might be a little slower pace. It's just, I'm kind of new to this. So make sure to drop any comments or feedback in the description. I will make sure to read literally everything, and I'll try to respond to as many comments as I can. But your tips and tricks will literally help me survive better in this world, I can promise you. Okay, so as far as this village goes, it was a decent haul. I'm sure I edited it quite a bit, so you didn't see me actually go to every single house, but this is what my inventory ended up with. Not too bad. No leggings, but actually almost fully kitted in iron armor, so I really cannot complain. Okay, so I just really quick converted this house here, threw a chest up here with some crap from my inventory, and clean inventory, clean mind, you know? So let's get started on some of the basics for this mod pack. Now, as I said, I am in the unique position to have already played about 4 hours for the episode 1 of a video that didn't really work out. The very first thing you should be aiming to do in this mod pack is setting up some kind of ore refinery, some way to make your ore processing not terrible. If you didn't know, in this mod pack, the ore gathering is very, very difficult. It's about to be nighttime, so I'm just going to duck inside my little shack here. But this is how ore works. You can actually go into the quest book and see what's going on. We'll take a look at overview in a minute, but I just want to show you the metallurgy tab. This is where you can see how efficient the ore processing kind of works. So ores don't drop ores. They dropped crushed ore. And crushed ore gives you 3 nuggets. That's how much it's worth. So if I, for example, broke a gold ore block with an iron pick, this is fortune. I don't have fortune, so that's what, just a regular tool. I'm going to get 1 crushed ore. 1 crushed ore is actually going to be able to be put in different things to give you more and more outcomes, I should say. If you put it in a furnace, 1 crushed ore is worth 3 nuggets, which means you need 3 ore to give you 1 ingot, right? 1 ore gives you 1 crushed. 1 crushed gives you 3 nuggets. You need 9 nuggets per ingot, which means you need 9 iron ore to give you 3 ingots. So it is 66% less efficient to just do ore smelting. Just mining a piece of iron ore, throwing it in a furnace, it is negative 66% efficient. What we're going to do, and probably the easiest method, I've seen some videos of people doing ore processing, and I think this is the best way to go. You can go washing, which is a lot more complicated, and in my opinion, doesn't give out as good as an outcome as melting does. And melting is actually very easy because it's Tinker's construct, and you're not actually making a smelter, you're just making a melter. And you can automate how this works. So we're going to go from an ore, we're just going to mine it, to a crushed ore. We're going to mill it. Then we're going to get dust. And dust inside a melter is worth a little bit more than a nugget. So we would melt the dust here, and it would become a liquid, and then we would cast it either as an ingot or as a block, and that's the story. This doesn't actually do anything, by the way. I'm just checking it off kind of like a checklist. It's a little bit bugged right now because, as you saw, I didn't actually check off this stuff here, but this is basically the line you're following. Tight and center on the right side. This little square here is all you really need to look at. It's probably the most efficient and easiest way to start your ore production and making ore gathering a little more efficient. So, first things first, we're going to need ore and lots of it. This isn't something I want to take up your time with because this is probably going to take me about 30 minutes to mine. If we were streaming, it'd be a different story. I'd be happy to read chat while I'm doing this, but I'm going to get a little more resources, and yeah, we'll see. We'll pick up from there. I know I said I was going to cut away. I just ran over to go mine some stuff, but this stuff here, andesite, is going to be the cornerstone of this mod. I don't know why they decided for the create mod that andesite is going to be basically anything. So the millstone, which is what we're going to try and make next, you need andesite alloy, which means you need andesite and you need the alkyl bricks. There's all these steps you have to do, but andesite is more important than cobblestone. It's the most important plentiful resource, because andesite's everywhere and it actually has a decent use. So when I'm mining, I'm going to make sure to pick up a decent amount of andesite. So just keep that in mind on your first day. You should do that as well. Another great thing is obviously all this ore. You guys, if you are playing along, will literally know where they are because I have my coordinates on screen and I've shown the seeds. So you can verify that I didn't place any of this down in a creative mode or anything, and I just got this all legit. So here's a great example. You can actually see that this ore is dropping chunks. It's not actually dropping the ore itself. And this is called crushed ore. And as I said, if you decide to smelt it, 1 crushed ore gives you 3 nuggets. And obviously you have to put the nuggets together to make the ingot. What we're going to try and do is melt. So I'm going to mine a bunch of stuff, get some sand, gravel, and clay, make some grout, and I will get back to you and show you how to set up a nice early game create above and beyond smeltery system. Okay, I'm back about 10 minutes later. I just want to show you this little mine shaft I made. It's got some resources down here. However, my iron pick is almost out of gas, so we are definitely going to need to break some more iron. Unfortunately, as I said, the rule is 1 to 3, so I'm going to have to break 9 iron ore for me just to get enough iron to make a new iron pick. There is this thing over here. Randonium ore. Now, there's lots of good things that can come from this, a lot of bad things that can come from this. So I think, I just got to go for it and, start off my exploration here, my spelunking adventure in a good way. These things can move, and I think they can damage you, so see. It gave me a I don't know what this is. Okay, that's interesting. We'll hold on to it for now, but as you can see, the randonium ore can literally drop anything, including spawn eggs, apparently. So that would be interesting. Anyway, I'm going to go mine a little bit more. I know I kept saying I was going to cut away, but technically I did cut away. But now, I promise, I won't be back until I have a decent amount of resources. All right. Welcome back, everyone. It's been about 30 minutes, and I've done some mining and resource collecting. I've gotten a few things here. Pretty much everything in this chest is all we'll need to get started on our little project. We've obviously got gravel, sand, and clay, so we can make some grout, but we also have some kelp. Unfortunately, I had to go pretty far. I had to go all the way down here to gather kelp, but I did plant some in here, so it should be growing, and I probably won't have to go that far anymore. The first thing we're going to do, obviously, is smelt the grout. We're going to 2 stacks, plenty. I don't even think we need that much, but I do have quite a bit of coal and even more in the house from my mining expedition, so we're going to smelt this up. Additionally, I don't want to use the crushed ore because I would like to be able to refine it in the method I'm going to show you, but we are going to need some of it for some of these machines up here. Another thing we should do while the grout is smelting, I just made another furnace, is make the algal bricks, which are very, very important to most of the machines. They require an algal blend, very cheap to make. However, they are required for the andesite alloy, which is a cornerstone in most of the early game machinery. So let's throw that in there, grab some coal, and I will let you know once everything has finished smelting. Okay, so we're back. Stuff is still cooking. I added some more of both of the resources, but we're going to get started on actually creating the structure. Wow, these look very similar in the inventory. Hopefully I don't confuse them. Here are the parts you need for my refinery. The first thing you're going to need is a melter and a heater, and this is the easiest Tinker's Construct method you can have. If you're saying, well, why don't I just go for a smeltery controller? That is a mistake I made in the first time I tried to record as well. The smeltery controller requires sealed mechanisms, which you do not really have the technology to make. Like, we could make cured rubber from this compact water or resin. Like, we're just not quite there yet. So what we're going to do is actually with the algal bricks, we're going to make the andesite alloy. This is going to be extremely important. 46 is plenty for the machines we're going to be using. For some reason, this mod pack loves buttons, and you're going to need to make a lot of buttons. I don't know why, but let's take a look at the millstone recipe. The cogwheel, of course, requires a bunch of buttons. 8 cogwheels is plenty. Okay, I'm just smelting this one piece of stone really quick because we need it for the millstone down here. Any smooth stone works. Grab that, throw another stack in there, get that grout going. So, millstone, complete. Very, very simple. You basically insert the crushed ore in the top, and it crushes it down even more into dust. We will get to that in a bit, but let's craft these smeltery components. I would say you should make a basin and a table just out of necessity. We're also going to need a couple hoppers, but let's just do the heater. Very simple stuff. The melter, we're going to need some glass thingy here. Grab the melter. We're going to need a faucet, very easy to make, a basin, and of course, a table. So it depends wherever you want to set it up. You are going to need a water wheel that spins, so keep that in mind. You can either do that from the right side or the left side. In this case, I'll probably just do it from the right side. So all you have to do is throw down your heater, put down your melter on top, attach a faucet here, and you can do a faucet on the other side as well. However, don't put anything on this side here. You can put it on the back if you'd like, just don't put it on this side because we're going to attach the rest of the machine up top here. I still don't have a pick, so unfortunately I am going to have to smelt some of this iron. I know, it's wasteful, but I'm just going to have to do that just to get an iron pick because I forgot mine expired while I was mining. While that's cooking, we're going to need a water wheel. Water wheels are pretty easy to make. You just need 2 large cogwheels, a load of slabs, and that's how you make a water wheel. Now, we should make 2 because you can put them right beside each other, and it's probably the most efficient way to use it because you're not really going to use big cogwheels. We are going to need a bucket as well, and it is so sad. Look at this. I just used half a stack of iron, or like not, you know, half a stack of iron is here, and I've got basically nothing. It's my first time actually smelting an iron ingot. Okay, I finally got enough iron to make a bucket. I basically had to burn through half a stack, and I got enough for another pick and a bucket. So, let me show you how to set this area up. I did take down the smeltery stuff just because the water wheel is more important to set up first. So you're going to throw 1 down here, and that did not go the way I wanted it at all. 1 like that, and another 1 attached to it. What you need to do is take water and kind of splash it over the top to get the wheel moving. You're going to do it on both sides there, and it just looks like that. I like glass just because I like how it looks, but that is the start of the water wheel. There are ways to make this slightly more efficient, but this is a way I found that it really doesn't stop. These 2 water wheels can power a lot of early game machines, just this. So you're good to go. However, you are going to need to output the power. And as you can see, there's a little crank moving over there. So you are going to need to make some shafts. 8 is plenty, just 2 andesite alloy. And you just kind of plug it in just like that. Boom. As you can see, this is turning. We can use this to kind of feed it into our machines. Okay, I just had to massacre that tree a little bit because what we are going to need is a gearbox. And what gearbox does, it lets you transition the horizontal movement speed into a vertical movement speed. And I'll show you why we're going to need that in just a second. So all you got to do, gearbox, very simple, just an andesite alloy. In any piece of log, you get 2 casings, and then just surround it with cogwheels to get a gearbox. You throw the gearbox in here to get a vertical gearbox, and vice versa. You can just keep changing them back and forth. We are using a vertical gearbox for this machine. Okay, so unfortunately I had to go through pretty much half or almost all of my iron supply to do this, but you are going to need hoppers for this setup. It's kind of expensive iron-wise at the beginning, but for copper and gold, it's really worth it in the long run. So what you're going to do is throw down your vertical gearbox here. And as you can see, the shaft turns into here. And now the vertical gear starts spinning. So what we're going to do is throw 1 of these on here and attach a cogwheel. This is going to spin this way because the millstone, as you can see by the texture, actually has a spinning gear on the top right there. I think we're actually going to grab this and throw this in front just for organizational purposes, but this will work the same. What you are going to want to do is put a hopper on top with a chest, just like that. And let me make a chest really quick. You're going to need 2 chests total for this operation or this system I made. Okay, so 1 chest is going to go right up top. You're going to chuck your ores in there when it's time. The next thing we're going to do is attach a hopper to the bottom and put up the smeltery thing that we were talking about earlier. So we need the heater, we need the melter, we need a spout, and probably the basin is the best thing you can have. So we're going to go heater, melter, spout, basin. And what we're actually going to do right here is put a hopper underneath here and attach a chest to it. So it'll automatically pull out the fully completed blocks once this basin is full. And we're also going to attach the hopper here. So as you can see, 3 hoppers, this is pretty much the entire design. Okay, so let's take it for a test run. I grabbed some coal from inside my house, and you're just going to chuck it in the bottom of the heater. That is going to power the melter up here. Of course, it's not going to go if there's nothing in it, and we're going to dump our crushed copper ore, just a stack, up in the top. And as you can see, we dropped 64 copper, and we're going to see basically how efficient it is when it outputs. So this millstone here is going to crush the copper ore. It takes a few seconds to do each, but this hopper will act as a backlog if it does get too full. And each copper dust is going to come in here. So once this starts to fill up, as you can see there, you got to empty it just like that. Now this copper is going to pour out into this casting basin here. It's going to dry up, and with the hopper under here, it should automatically pull it out once it is dried. Boom, just like that, we now have, hello? Okay, that should work now. Let's just try that out and make sure everything's okay. Okay, let's hope it goes in the chest this time. Beautiful. Perfect. So we put a stack of copper in. Let's see how much this system outputs. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh. Oh. Oh my god. Okay, well, while my stuff was smelting, I decided to adventure a little bit, and I found some really cool stuff. I already peeked around here a little bit, but there's definitely some treasure pots I haven't... Okay, well, that one wasn't great. A controller rail, however, is very nice. I will absolutely take one of those because they're great for minecarts, and they're kind of out of my league to craft. But take a look at what I found in these barrels over here. We got some diamond. Actually, let's just organize this. A Heart of the Sea. Another iron sword, which I don't really need. TNT. I mean, I guess I could take that. Iron, always welcome to see. Gold ingot. Another rubber ducky, which is kind of disappointing. We got some more pots over here. But the real treasure that I found was in this loot barrel. I didn't say anything in English there. The real treasure I found was something inside this loot barrel, and that's the timer here. And the timer is not too hard to make, but it's kind of out of my league for right now. The circuit plates are nice and easy. You just smelt smooth stone, and then obviously an andesite alloy, nice and easy. However, the red alloy wire, that's a tongue twister, red alloy ingot is slightly difficult because you do need an induction smelter or a compacting machine. Again, not too hard. Create like copper with a little bit of redstone, and this machine is a pretty early game machine, but this saves a lot of time because I will show you why. I don't really know what to do with this, though. I will be honest. The Elderwood lava bucket, I'm just gonna leave that in there. So while we're adoring this beautiful looking mine shaft, there's lots of stuff up here. So you can actually smelt down mine carts to give you the exact value back in iron, so that's good to know. However, I do believe you can also just... probably shouldn't have done that. Hey, another controller rail. I cannot complain. I will snag that up. Anyway, keep your eye out for these structures here. They're basically mini mine shafts. They have a lot of useful kind of railway, I want to say technology stuff, but a lot of it's like, you know, the powered rails, the timers, the controller rails, like all this stuff is going to be useful, and it's kind of a pain to craft early. So finding these places and loading them is really, really rewarding early on inside Create Above and Beyond. So make sure to check out these buildings. Lucky enough to explore and find 2 of them here. However, I am a little bit far from home. So this machine is still working. I forgot to load in the chunk while I went exploring. So to do that, all you have to do is click claim chunked here, and you just, I don't know, select an area. This is mainly used for multiplayer, but for single player, you can press shift and click and kind of drag around, and that will force load these chunks. So if I did that and left, this would have still started cooking. Now I don't have to worry about it. Now this will always be cooking, and you know, no matter where I go. So I should have done that, and now I'm a little bit behind of where I could have been, but I do want to show you what this timer does. So the timer, you can actually put right beside, oh my god, did my game just crash? Okay, we're fine. So the timer, every time it gets a redstone signal, it will activate the faucet. So this is a great way, we're going to up the time a little bit here to like 4 seconds. So it's basically going to pour out every single time there's a liquid in there, and it will automate basically withdrawing this, so you don't have to click the tap. There's other ways to do this with redstone, like for sure, but the timer's pretty cheap if you're able to basically, what was the recipe? The circuit plate is very easy to make. You just smelt stone, andesite alloy. Obviously, we have loads of that. The red alloy wire is slightly hard because you need the ingots, but really it's just 1 copper ingot, 4 redstone, crush it down, alloy, easy peasy. It looks like the wheel, there's no particles coming out, so it looks like it's almost done, or it has finished crushing the full stack of crushed copper ore. We're just waiting on this stuff to finish smelting, and we'll see how everything turned out. Okay, so there's a little bit of overflow, however, the process has finished. So we put in 1 stack, we got 7 blocks of copper, so we got 63. And I'm going to say there's 1 ingot in there. So I'm going to say this process right here is a 1-to-1 ratio, which is really great for the Create mod because it's kind of hard to get this early. This system is very cheap. I came up with it in the last world I did it. I'm sure other people have done something like this. However, this is very, very easy, cheap to do. You can do it right away, and it basically stops you from losing anything. So we can look for ways to improve this, but I would argue this system is 100% efficient. We might be able to get 150% or 200% later in the game, but right now, this early on, one ore or one crushed ore giving you one ingot is pretty good. That is really, really good for an expert pack this early in the game. So I'm very proud of this system. Feel free to use it. Cheap, very easy to set up, and very, very useful. Oh my god, I just realized my mic was off. Okay, so this machine has been running for a while, and I think there's a few things, if it was possible, that I would do that could maybe change the efficiency level to a little bit higher. Right now, the ore itself is basically a 1-to-1, which is fantastic for this early in the game. However, sometimes this casting basin, especially when switching materials, does not fill up all the way. So when it finished the zinc, it just kind of sat in the bottom while this completely filled with iron. The good thing about the heater is it actually won't consume the coal unless the stuff is being cooked. So I didn't waste too much. I just wasted time, which is kind of unfortunate. If anyone knows how, if there's something that I could like do where if this doesn't fill all the way and it's just sitting there and this is ready to pour a new material to like change it, that would be great. I would love to make that adjustment to this system. Another thing would be I could set up another hopper, maybe in the back here, that attaches to the heater that funnels coal in. But right now, this has gone through stacks of material and it's only used about 20 coal. And that's really not that bad. I'm very happy with the power consumption. Another thing is you really have to make sure that the millstone does not accidentally put something forward. Like if gold goes forward above iron, it will completely halt the whole system. So just make sure you put your ores in order and they're being fed in the proper order. Other than that, there's really no issues. I'm happy with how this turned out, and I think we can probably move on to the next project. Okay, so I think I found a little solution to my problem of the stuff overflowing. I think what I'm going to actually do is put down a casting table. And what I'm going to do is make it so it automatically crafts ingots instead of whole blocks. That way I'm not wasting anything at all. I am going to need to sacrifice an ingot. Let's sacrifice a copper ingot. Throw it here, make a cast of it. That's going to destroy the copper, but this cast should, and we can actually time it perfectly. 2 seconds, is that good? Yeah, 2 seconds is fine. Okay, so this little casting basin seemed to solve my issues. However, it will be extremely more tedious without this timer. So if you're not lucky enough to find a timer in one of these kind of abandoned mine shaft things, which I think they're pretty common loot, this might be a little more tedious because you have to click. So I would suggest using the basin. The fact that this is still 100% efficient is still fantastic. It just means if you're doing it by hand, you don't have a timer to automatically pour out of the faucet, you might be in a little bit more of a pickle than I am. However, still a great system for day one. Okay, so I've been playing for about 2.5 hours. I do have class soon, so I'm going to probably have to end this episode short. If you did enjoy, make sure to drop a like on the video. It's much appreciated. If you have any feedback or tips and tricks for stuff I can do to improve my systems or my builds, make sure to let me know in the comments below. As I said, I do read almost everything. This whole create above and beyond mod pack is a little bit out of the comfort zone of something I normally do. I normally play on my own mod pack that I create and have a server for, which is what most of my subscribers I think are here for. However, I had a really good time playing this pack, and I'm sure there's an audience of people who enjoy the tech side of mod packs, as create above and beyond was actually suggested for me to play by a viewer. So make sure to follow me on Twitch if you'd like to see me goof around in this world for longer periods of time and less condensed content. I am going to need all your guys' help once we get to the mid-game. Early game I am somewhat familiar with, but as soon as we hit mid-game, I'm probably going to be hopeless. So make sure to drop any comments you want on this video. Feedback obviously is very much appreciated. If you guys want longer episodes, let me know that too. I don't know how long this is. I recorded for, as I said, about 2.5 hours. So any feedback on longer episodes would be appreciated. Or if you still want stuff to be kind of short and condensed, I can do that too. Next episode, as I said, I'm going to work on tree farms and probably some kind of crop farm. So if there's any designs for efficient machines like that, I would be happy to take a look. But if setting up a tree farm and a crop farm isn't in my best interest, but if setting up a But if you guys think setting up a tree farm or a crop farm isn't in my best interest, and I should start trying to go for the kinetic mechanism automation stuff, let me know that too. Again, I'm pretty unfamiliar to most of this stuff, so I really do appreciate the input. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to obviously like the video, follow me on Twitch if you'd like to see me stream this live, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks so much for tuning in. Peace.